friends. I hope you're warm and happy. And if you struggle with winter like I do, then I hope that this build will help a little, as it did help me to build it. And before anyone comes for me, I know I said I wasn't gonna do a Christmas build about 20 times. And now I can hear someone out there calling me a hypocrite or inconsistent, and we wouldn't want that, would we? So I just want to reiterate that this does not have to be a Christmas build. This is a winter build. Actually, it wouldn't even have to be a winter build if you wouldn't want it to be. If you just set this in the season of summer or spring or fall, whatever you prefer, then this would work just the same, I think. Because although I labeled this a Christmas tree farm, and that is honestly what I had in mind when I built this could be any other type of tree farm. So I'm pretty sure that fir trees or any type of evergreen tree can also be planted for the use of the wood itself. So this could just be any old tree farm. Also, these people wouldn't have to celebrate Christmas to make a profit of Christmas. So yeah, you're gonna see how this turns out. But there's one thing I have to admit beforehand, because you're gonna find out anyways, and I'd rather you hear it from me right now. It is that I did put a Christmas tree in this build. I know, I said I never do that, and it really doesn't sound like me at all. But I don't know, I just couldn't resist. It must be this build somehow. It made me a little excited about winter, which is ridiculous. And I also had so much fun building it. I don't know what happened. I mean, listen to this. I made myself some tea for this voiceover to calm myself down. And the tea that I made is literally called Wintertime. Like, what's up? And it's way too hot. Oh my god, I burned my tongue. Alright, enough prefacing. If you're wondering, you're probably wondering, where the hell is the snow if this is a winter build? What you doing, Bella? What's up? What's happening? I am building this in summer until I'm about halfway done, so I can see properly, because I did want that super snowy look, and I definitely wanted to make sure that everything looked good in winter, because I was expecting that people would probably want to play with this build in winter. If you have watched any of my other builds, then you will know that I usually build in summer, and I could not imagine anyone would want to play in any other season. But I guess this house is different. This is suited for all seasons. This is a season's house. It's an all year round farm. So entirely new steps that were taken here at Honeybella Inc. So I wanted to make sure that it looked good in winter, but I also wanted to make sure that it looked good in summer. And when the snow is covering the ground in winter, you can't see anything at all that you did to the terrain, especially terrain paint, and in general it's really hard to see. You also can probably see the roof textures and all that jazz. So I figured it'd probably be smart in this case to start building in summer, and then when all those things are done, to switch to winter to make sure everything looks good, with the plants being dead. They're not dead, are they? They're just hibernating. I don't think you can say that about plants. Oh god, my vocabulary is not suited for winter builds. But yeah, I just wanted everything to look good, so I checked both seasons, and as you can see, I did work with terrain paint, which is a must for a farm if you ask me, and it does look good in all seasons. Actually, I haven't checked for fall, but I'm just gonna trust, excuse the drums, I'm just gonna trust this game, and just I'm gonna just go out there and tell you that it probably looks good in fall too. As you can tell, I used a lot of country living, which also just made sense to me for this farm type build. But apart from that, I didn't use too many other packs at all. I would even go so far as to call this a limited pack build. And a few of the packs that I did use, I only used singular objects from that I didn't want to miss, but also probably are not too bad if you don't have those packs. For example, I think the only object from City Living that I've used in this entire build is the rug. You know which rug. It's the rug. That one perfect rug that they gave us. But if you don't have City Living, but you might have Snowy Escape, for example, then you could definitely swap that out for the fur rug that came with that pack. You might even swap it out for the organic rug if you wanted to. I've used the organic pack all over this build. Obviously, it was the perfect chance. I've been wanting to do a build to celebrate that custom content pack for a long time. It actually came out so long ago, or at least the very first part came out so long ago. So I finally got to really embrace that style, and I've used that rug everywhere. It's beautiful, but yeah, if you, for example, didn't have City Living, then you should still be fine. Also, I think you should be fine without seasons, especially if you didn't want to make this a Christmas build. If I remember correctly, the only packs you would really need for this build are Country Living and Get Together. But I don't want to make any promises. So if you want to download this, you can get it from the gallery at honeybellabuilds. Or, especially if you don't have access to the gallery, you can get the tray files from that one link in the video description that says download. And that's super easy, by the way. If you've never done that before, there's also a description there on how to do it, and that's super easy. That is also where I link all the custom content. So as always, I've only used Felix's and Harry's custom content for this build. And I've also actually not used too many of Felix Andres Patreon exclusive items. I've used a lot of the Florence pack, but I think you actually might be fine if you only have his free content, and then the Florence pack. And then Harry's beautiful custom content and their collaborations, but that's all free. So with this build, I basically finally got to do a build centered around the organic pack and that style, and to finally really embrace that and celebrate that pack with a build, which was so much fun. I had such a good time doing this. Or let me talk about this little area that I'm building. I'm gonna interrupt myself there. Because this is supposed to be where customers would come in to buy singular trees. I've never been to a tree farm myself, I gotta admit that. So this area was inspired by roadside Christmas tree sales booths, I guess. I don't know what you would call those, but that's where I see people buy their Christmas trees from, and that's where they are usually sold in Europe. Please tell me if I'm wrong. Please correct me in the comments if that's not how it works where you're from, if you're from Europe. But yeah, I've personally never been to an actual Christmas tree farm. So I had to Google. I did my research, as I always do. And I still wanted this little area because I thought it looked cute and it reminded me of my personal experience. So yeah, this is where people would come in and park their cars, and then they would either just tell the staff to grab them a Christmas tree of a particular size, or they would go pick one themselves. If I'm getting this right, in America you usually can also cut the tree yourself, which sounds like such a hazard to me to just give random people an axe and just let them loose on a tree farm. But yeah, so I imagine that this little net area, which is, if I'm not mistaken, this fence is the only object that I've used from Cats and Dogs. So that's where the staff would leave Christmas trees that had already been cut down for people who didn't want to choose a particular tree themselves. So you could just like grab one of those quickly. And that area below, like that table below that really cute curved lamp, is supposed to be that area where they package the trees so you can transport them safely into the, like they have those really cool machines. I was so fascinated with those as a kid. I don't know if they have those everywhere actually, but that's what I was used to, those really cool machines where you push the tree in. Like obviously the customers wouldn't be allowed to do that, but the staff would push the trees through the machine and then they would come out inside of a net on the other end. Not sure if I'm explaining this too well, but if you've seen them, I'm sure you will know what I'm talking about because they're so cool. And I've always wanted to do that. And I don't know if I'm misremembering that, but maybe I dreamt it as a kid. But I have that weird memory that somebody once might have let me like push it through, like the tree through the machine. I might have to ask my mom about that later because she would have been there, but yeah, that's what that area was supposed to be. And if you didn't want to use this, or that didn't make sense for how you were planning on using this farm, then you could easily turn this into a nice picnic area. Maybe that's what I was thinking. That was my plan B. So here I'm preparing the actual tree farm. As I said, for this I did do some research, and apparently you split the farm up into these different areas for your different types of trees. You know how there's lots of different types. I actually I say that, I don't know. I'm sure they have different qualities, like different colors slightly. I do know that some are definitely more bluish and some are more greenish, and some are probably fuller and taller and whatever qualities a tree can have. So I also used different types of fir trees that we have in the game to mimic that, and then which you're gonna see later, I used the tool mod to vary them in size slightly so that it looked a little more organic and realistic. And this might be where we switch to winter. Oh, what a timing! So yeah, I've placed them in a rather neat way so you could still get through with your wheelbarrow and your axe and your 3 kids or whatever. So this is me changing the trees' sizes. Some of them still have their original big shadow beneath them, which I actually liked this time because it looked as if maybe the snow wasn't as thick around and underneath the trees, which would make sense because the trees themselves catch a lot of the snow, and then also there's lots of people walking around and mudding it up a little with their boots, so I did like that. And some of these even move in the wind, which I love so much. Makes it look so beautiful from the inside of the house to look out through the windows and see the trees move, and the shadows that they cast through the windows also move, and that's probably my favorite thing when that happens. So I knew I wanted this house to have huge windows. When I had the idea to do a winter build, I knew I needed huge windows to let in all the light that there is in winter, which is not a lot, at least where I live. And you know, I'm obsessed with light and the sun, and that's the only way I could potentially get through winter and even appreciate houses that are made to be looked at in winter. So I did that. I really did that. That window in the living room that you are seeing on this side of the build is a double-story window with the organic window pieces. So that window goes up to the roof, which is basically the only way I could imagine to actually enjoy winter. Because I have to say, this was beautiful. This whole area looks beautiful. Henford-on-Bagley is so beautifully designed anyways. I gotta say, I love the clouds. I don't know what they did do different about the clouds, but something about them it's so nice. Oh, now that I'm seeing that on screen right now, that little wheel that I've put in the snow there just as general clutter, like farm type clutter, that is the water wheel, and I didn't realize that actually moved. So I did swap that out for something else. I think one of those telephone poles that I just lowered down into the ground, just so you know there's no weird magically moving water wheels on the final lot that you would get from the gallery. What was I talking about? Oh yeah, this is actually beautiful, surprisingly. It looks really nice. If you follow me on Tumblr, you might have seen the sneak peek that I've posted from like the look from the bed out towards the rest of the farm. And it's so pretty. I had a really hard time deciding what photo to post as a sneak peek because I really loved all of them so much, which was very surprising to me. And also it was just nice to see The Sims in a different season. It's fun to change it up every once in a while, and actually that's what I wanted to talk about as well. I've been doing lots of modern interiors lately. Sometimes in contemporary, like, built architecture-wise as well, and sometimes in historical builds. And I've had so much inspiration for that, and I really love that style, as you probably know. But I did get a little worried that I maybe wasn't capable of doing any other style anymore. I just didn't have any inspiration to do anything else, and which is not inherently a bad thing, because I think that came from a place of me loving that specific style so much. But then I guess as soon as you have a YouTube channel, or people, even if it's just a few people watching what you do, you don't want them to get bored. And I was scared I myself might get bored at some point if I get too comfortable with one specific style. And I don't think I really did, or that was a reasonable concern to have. It's just that I know myself, and I know I need so much variety in my life. Like, that's a problem that I have in general. Actually, all that I'm trying to say is that I was very excited, that I was so inspired to do this interior in a more traditional manner. It's rather elegant, as you're about to see. I don't want to spoil too much, but it's that very specific style that I guess I just didn't really feel for a while. And I'm just glad that I had like so much fun doing that, and I really got into that flow, you know, of furnishing. And that was lovely. That was just lovely. Okay, we've switched back to summer for just a short while to clutter this little area in front of the house a little bit more. I wanted this to be on a hill because if this is on the big 64 by 64 lot in Henford-on-Bagley, and the view from right through these windows is so beautiful, and I wanted the slope of the hill to continue into the rest of Henford-on-Bagley, and for them to sit on their couch and look out over their tree farm and all that gorgeous, like, open, wide space. Wow, that Christmas tree is really confusing to me. Yeah, we've now switched back to winter to furnish this place, and as I said, this is the only Christmas tree in the house, and then there's that one Christmas decoration on the stairs, and that's it. But it really fits so well into this house. I mean, please delete it if you don't want it, but I do think it looked really good. And I just love to think that it's a Christmas tree that they picked from their own farm. That's so cute, so lovely. And as you can already tell, I've used a lot of the Florence set and the brownstone set, and then obviously the organic pack. So those complement each other so well, and the colors it just makes everything so cozy and cute. And I actually got to use all those patterns that came with the organic pack, which I was a little scared to use. As I said, I love this style, but it's definitely not like my most comfortable, easy to do style, like the one I feel the most secure in. And I was a little scared to use those patterns and make it look right. Which is why I was extra happy to see it all come together and look exactly the way I wanted it to, and it just everything felt right. Oh, I put that rug in there, and that was a good choice. Yeah, you will have that if you download it, but if you are someone who watches the video tours, which is what I call the cinematic fly-throughs that I do at the end of almost every video, by the way. So in there, that rug will be gone, because I took the very last shot. So the last shot that I record is where I put the video recommendations, so thumbnails of videos that you might want to watch next if you like this. So that shot is way longer than any of the other shots because I have that I keep that as a background basically. So I recorded that first. And I had my sim self light the bonfire and then sit on that bench outside to watch it as basically a background for the thumbnails. And I did that, and I was in camera mode for that, and that's when you don't get notifications. And I knew I was just gonna let that run for a while, so I didn't really look at the screen, and when I stopped that, I realized that the house was on fire, and I hadn't noticed, and it had already been burning for 30 seconds probably. So until I had her go in there and put out the fire and all that, a lot of things had burned. And I replaced all the things that looked kind of charred, you know how that happens in the game. But I think I missed the rug. I think the rug turned into little piles of ash on the ground, and I didn't realize. So, long story short, that rug will be missing from the video tour, and I'm not entirely sure if I've saved the lot afterwards, but if I have, I don't think I did, but if I did accidentally, then you might want to put that rug back in. Yeah, we've moved on to the kitchen. I've used a lot of Felix's London interior set for this, which is free, and that's very nice. I actually forgot, I wanted to put in the Welsh, is it a dresser or a cupboard? I'm not sure, but yeah, I did want to put that in this build. It didn't really fit into the kitchen, space-wise. And then I forgot. So if you're planning on redecorating this, that's my advice on what you might want to put in this build as well. This kids' bedroom was originally supposed to be a nursery. So when I made the room plan and stuff, I thought I was going to turn this into a nursery. But then I thought you would probably have to refurnish that quite quickly, because there's not so much that you can do with babies in the game, and I thought a toddler fit very well into this house. I love this style of room for a kid, and that huge window is obviously just breathtaking. Like having this room as a kid and this entire farm, that'd be so cool. But yeah, furnishing this room like this and combining the tiny travelers items with the organic items kind of made me see them in a new light, and I really enjoyed this, and it just feels so cozy and homely and nice. I don't know, it just feels good. So you could also easily turn this into a bedroom for 2 kids. It's definitely big enough for that, and you could also swap out a few items and make this into a kid's bedroom instead of a toddler bedroom quite easily. Oh, there's also a guest bedroom upstairs, which is where I've used the short wall height, by the way, which just felt off for me, honestly. I had to think about that for some time if I was gonna be able to deal with the short wall height, but it just made sense, so I did it. So that upstairs has a guest bedroom, which you could also turn into another kid's bedroom if you wanted. Like, this just feels like a family home. And I am an only child. I don't know if I've ever told you that before, but I do not have siblings, and because of that, this is kind of the natural state for me, I guess. But I do have to admit that like having children run through this house would definitely feel right for what I imagined that when I built this place, and yeah, children's laughter would just make this place complete. That sounded so cheesy. But this is the primary bedroom, the parents' bedroom, or at least that's what I was thinking. They have this window, which really speaks for itself. And then they also have a dressing room and a private bathroom, which is the only bathroom that I left in this speed build, as it's already like 35 minutes long. So there's one other bathroom downstairs for the kid and guests, and another one upstairs, and they're really cute. I really like them. If you want to see them, I did record those for the video tour, or at least one of them. They were quite similar, and I think I used the organic wallpaper that you're also seeing in this bathroom for all of them, which was so nice. The thought of having original stone walls, like I wish the wallpaper could be 3D because that just be epic. But yeah, I love that in bathrooms, especially for these winter winter vacation type builds with these huge windows. I'm sure you've seen those in architecture magazines and Pinterest or wherever as well, if you're like into architecture and interior design. So I was inspired by those, and in particular really beautiful natural stone walls in bathrooms. And then Harry's brutalist bathroom set went so well with it because it allowed me to use those beautiful traditional wood tables and just put the sinks on top, and that was perfect for this style. Very thankful for that custom content pack. But just imagine lying in that tub looking out over that farm, and it's so nice and cozy and warm inside in the warm water, and outside the snow is falling. That contrast, mwah. I do appreciate that. That's the one thing I do appreciate about winter, which I'm sure a lot of people will agree with me, is that it's just nicer to be warm when you can see that it's cold outside. It's worth more, you know? Makes everything feel so cozy. Just like the view from those windows, by the way. Can you please check that out, because that's beautiful. Like the morning light coming in through those windows, and then all those trees covered in snow. Love it. And you wouldn't usually hear that from me. Oh, by the way, before I forget, I have a friend who is really into Christmas, like way too much. Sorry, love you. And she wanted me to let you know that this is also her house, personally. So hope that helps. So this is a little reading nook and / play area for the child, which I just wanted to look super cozy. I didn't really have anything else to put here in this hallway, and I thought that was really cute because those windows and the light coming through is so good that I didn't want to waste it on just a hallway. And the short wall height makes everything just immediately feel kind of cozy, so it was kind of nice for this area. Although I have to reiterate, it's so confusing. I was just wondering where the wall space was all the time, because I'm so used to at least the medium wall height. I tried putting some art on these walls, and I did that in the guest bedroom that's also up here, and it was so confusing. There's so little space. And this is said guest bathroom. It looks a little sad right now because it seems like there's no windows, but you might remember that there's actually a glass roof, like a tiny part of the roof is a glass roof. And this is where this bedroom is. And it's so beautiful, but the snow is covering it all up. And it looks weird in the wintertime, at least as long as there's snow. Which is sad, because lying in this bed and watching the snow fall onto the roof must be so good. But yeah, so there is natural light in this bedroom. You just can't see it right now because of the snow on the roof, and I made sure to film or record this particular room in the summertime for the video tour, so you can get another feeling for it, with it looking a little nicer and friendlier and sunnier. And then it's really, really nice. Like, I would love to lie there and watch the stars from the bed. Like, being a guest in this house would be awesome. All right, video tour is coming up. Thank you so much for watching. I love you, and bye bye.